Don Smith.
And I'm Bill Cartwright, and welcome.
Tell your friends to join you and watch us on YouTube. You know, Channel 5's gone now, so the only way that you can see us is YouTube. Just put in What's Happening in Miami County video, and you'll find us, or you can go to the Indian Nation station.
Right, it's not hard.
Not hard really at all, but takes a little bit of learning, but not, once you got it, it's all good. So don't forget to keep watching us as best you can.
Yep.
So Bill, what you been up to?
Well, actually a lot of stuff. As you well know, we just returned from a trip to the UK and Scotland and Ireland, and I'll tell you what, it was fantastic. It really was. First off, we were with two other couples, great couples.
Weren't they though? Such nice people.
They were.
I was with two couples.
I felt. Were you really?
Yeah, and they were really nice too. How did we do that?
Did you? Well, they didn't happen to be Tom and Cindy, did they?
Well, yeah.
Oh, well, what do you know? Well, anyway.
Let's not get too carried away.
No, yeah. It was a lot of fun, and we had a good time, good fellowship together, and we saw some great stuff, especially in London. I was particularly impressed in London first off, about the heat. Oh my gosh,
it was as hot as here.
It was brutal. I mean, it really was, and the humidity was fairly high, so it was rough. And of course, most of the things we did, we were walking. So
the 5-hour walking tour.
Yeah, that was a little rough, but you know, we made it, and we had a good time, and we saw some wonderful things. Westminster Cathedral, Big Ben. I wasn't impressed with Big Ben like I thought I'd be. But
no, it's just another thing.
Yeah, it's just a clock tower. That's all. But anyway, what I really liked about London was when we went to the West End, to the theater. That was really good. Now I wasn't thrilled about The Great Gatsby, but I was really thrilled about how well the actors did on the stage and the singing and all that. It was really good.
Well, it's really Broadway in London.
It is.
Basically.
That's exactly what it is. And it's a busy place, too. I know when the show let out, we were trying to find a taxi to get back to our hotel. It took us about an hour, didn't it?
Yep.
I mean, a good hour.
A lot of standing on the street.
Yeah.
Somebody
stop for us. But, you know, anyway. But that was fun. And then, of course, we went from the 95, 96 degree temperatures to the rest of our cruise. It was like low 60s for highs, or mid 60s at the most, and in the 50s in the evening and all that. So it was a lot cooler. But the scenery was phenomenal. Some of the little towns we visited were great. I liked Inverness. That was a really cool town. We went to Culloden in Scotland. That was really neat to see. It was a battleground where the Jacobites and the British fought, but it was very moving and really neat to see. And I also went to and saw a lot of the props and some of the studio sets for Game of Thrones.
Oh,
because it was
that's one of your things. Anyway.
That was one of my things. Yeah, and that was fun. I got to sit on the Iron Throne. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that was fun. But overall, we had a wonderful trip, and then of course we came back and got right back into busy. Yeah.
By the way, do you know that the background for us today is Scotland?
Oh, well, that's fantastic.
That's a Scottish countryside.
And I would say that was my favorite country, was Scotland to visit. It was just beautiful. I mean, just driving along, looking out the window, the countryside is just gorgeous. I mean, just beautiful.
As is evidenced by the picture behind us.
Yes, very much so. So what have you been up to?
Well, you know, the trip was the thing since our last story.
Yeah.
And so there was a snap there early on. I got sick, and for 6 days I spent.
Boy, did you get
I
sick.
know, and I was in bed for 6 days and had to be at the medical center. And
Let's just say we
But
were all
thank
very
goodness-
worried.
well, thank goodness for your wife, because for those who don't know, Bill's wife began her career as a nurse and is still very knowledgeable and helpful. And I was in bed, and she came in and she brought medications that took care of me for a bit before we went down to see doctors and things like that. But after about 6 days, we got better. But it wasn't real enjoyable. You know, when you go on a cruise, one of your favorite things is to eat.
Yeah.
And for 3 days, it was broth and Jello.
Yeah, I
which
heard
was-
though you were able to have an In-N-Out burger.
No, you weren't supposed to talk about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, never mind.
I ate it, and there it was right afterwards. But anyway, but you know, that's another story altogether.
that is.
We won't get into the
No,
gory
not
details.
here,
But
not
you know,
now.
one of the things, there's a picture that AJ is going to put up about Churchill, because we went to the underground bunker where Churchill pretty much ran the Allied forces along with our own president at the time, and it was just an amazing place. My wife put that on the list if she were ever to go back to London. The one thing she wants to do is go again to that underground bunker, because it is such a huge area.
Yeah, bigger than I
I
thought.
couldn't believe how much. I mean, even Mrs. Churchill had a room under there where she lived while they were fighting the war.
Well, and they even said that it's basically how they left it
Yeah.
after the war.
Well, AJ also has a picture of the war room, and the war room has not changed at all.
No.
It looks exactly like it did when Churchill was leading his country in the battle. So it was just really interesting. And there was a couple of things on the bucket list that I've had forever. One was to see Westminster Abbey. The church, of course, is amazing, and you see it all the time on television.
Yep.
I mean, that's where Diana and Charles got married. That's where the Queen's funeral was,
Yep.
and that's where Charles took the throne as King of England. So to go into the Abbey, and we have a picture of that too, to go into the Abbey was just amazing, and it is so much, for those who haven't had the opportunity, so much larger than television depicts it, because all of what we see on TV, I was in that area, but then you walk behind the main altar where all of the big important things happen, and there's another whole, I would say, another whole church.
Oh,
or
yeah, it's
space,
huge.
and so many people have been interred there after their deaths.
it is definitely a graveyard.
Yep,
it
is.
really is.
Along with everything else. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting, and it was definitely high on my bucket list to do that. And then we went, before that, this was part of the 5-hour walking tour. Before that, we went to Buckingham Palace, and AJ has a picture of Buckingham Palace. It was so much bigger wide than I thought it was. You know, it's just a huge
Yeah, it is.
complex, and again, we see so much of that on television that it's nice. I guess it's me, maybe not everybody feels the way I do about it, but it's cool to be able, like you did Games of Thrones, because that was
Yeah.
something you were interested in. Well, to me, going to places like this where historical things have happened, really,
Yeah, it was really neat to
really
see.
make it an interesting thing. And so we did that. And then I found out, I don't know where the gates go, but there's gates to nowhere, I think. There's several sets of huge gates that are beautifully adorned with gold and flowers around them. And I was told that the gates that you'll see on the picture that AJ has, that the gates are, this set of gates were donated to the United Kingdom by Canada. And they were just absolutely beautiful. If we hadn't been on a walking tour, we'd have taken close-up pictures of all of us in front of them, because they were so attractive. But that was, you know, and then we did the touristy stuff, like, well, that was all touristy too, really.
Yeah, yeah,
But we
really.
went to, I was real excited to go to Harrods. I am a shopper, there's no question about it. And
I am
rest of
not.
and the rest of the group is not. And then we stay in a hotel and we walk through Hyde Park to get there.
Oh my
And we
gosh.
thought, oh, Hyde Park, it's only a mile, mile and a half.
1.5, 1.7 miles.
Yeah. And we were going to walk through there, no big deal. Well, it was 95 degrees and a lot of sunshine
It became a big deal.
because we got lost and went too far. And then we had to come back to Harrods. And by the time we got to Harrods, it was like, let's go in and see it. We went in, looked around, left.
Yeah.
And we're smart enough to get a
Taxis
taxi
back.
to take us back to the hotel. We
That's
didn't
right.
have to walk the multiple miles back. But remember, that was after we'd been on an all-night flight
Yeah.
to London.
So we were dragging anyway, but
Yeah, to start with, but we get into London at what, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and get to the hotel at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we can't get into rooms. So that was when we decided we were going to walk to Harrods for our first visit, and that was a killer. Then we went
it was.
went on to Ireland, and I really enjoy Ireland. I've been there one other time, and I was so excited to go to Cork, and then I couldn't because I was
Yeah.
sick.
I know.
So I had to
hated
stay
that
on
for
the
you.
ship, and that was disappointing because
Yeah.
I really like Ireland. And then I got better by the time we got to Scotland.
Scotland,
And
yeah.
I agree with you that Scotland is just a special place.
Oh.
The really cool part about it was we were in a community, in a town. We didn't take a tour, we just walked through the town. And the people were so friendly, you'd think everybody was part of your family.
Yeah.
And they were so willing to help. We went into one shop, it was kind of rainy. And she says, you don't have an umbrella, let me give you one. And she comes out with this umbrella she wanted us to take. But we had light raincoats and it wasn't that hard, so we didn't take the umbrella, but the offer was there, and she gave us guidance as to where to walk.
Yeah.
It was just a nice group of people.
Yeah. Very special.
It really was. And so those were the things that we really enjoyed. And then the food on the airplane, I think it was better than the food on the ship. I had an amazing meal coming back and a good meal going over. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I was surprised. With that
Yeah,
too.
because usually, airplane food
Yeah,
is
it's-
kind of iffy, but the meals were good. The hot food was so hot you couldn't eat it right
couldn't
away.
eat it,
You had
that's
to cool
right.
it. And then the cold food was cold like it was supposed to be. So
Yeah.
it was a perfect trip. So I'll say that I'm glad to be home.
Yes. Yeah.
And if I had to relocate, I'd probably do what your son-in-law wants to do, go to Scotland.
Go to Scotland,
Because
yeah.
it really was a nice place.
That's such
But-
a beautiful, beautiful country.
Yep. Well, there's a lot going on there, and we were in Invergordon, Scotland, which is where we spent most of our time. We have a special guest today. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, our special guest happens to be one of the people that went on the cruise with us, Cindy Lillicrap. And we're going to be at her home, and we're going to be discussing what happened 14 years ago. Do you know what happened 14 years ago?
Well, since I was in the interview,
Yeah.
I do know.
I think
and I'll
you
bet
do.
all of you in the audience will be excited to find out that she's going to talk to us about the winning of the lottery and 14 years after she
Yep.
has won the lottery. So we're going to cut now to JJ's going to play the film from our tour. And
All right.
here we are with one of my favorite people.
Yep.
Oh no.
Besides me.
Besides you, Cindy Lillicrap.
Yes.
And for those of you who know, Tom's wife, Cindy.
Right.
And we're here at their home. And I think it's an interesting story to begin with. Our story today is about winning the lottery because Cindy was fortunate enough to be one of those people in our community who, as a group, won the lottery. And so we're going to talk about that. But before we talk about that, we need to talk about where we are.
Okay.
Yes, it's a beautiful setting.
I mean, I came to your house and it was what, 7,000 square feet maybe?
Almost 8.
Almost 8,000 square feet. It was absolutely beautiful. You and Tom had it built.
We did.
And it was on a pond. And then you decided to downsize
We did.
to 800 square feet.
832.
Wow. That's
So-
downsizing now.
So now we're a part of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Exactly, and we're on the front porch.
And how do you feel about that? Are you comfortable here or would you rather be back there?
I am extremely comfortable here. It's home. It's in the middle of bean fields this year. and flowers and deer and turkeys, and it's home. And it's actually on Tom's parents' property, and we love it here.
Well, I know Tom especially likes it because his grandfather actually built it.
He did.
And so when you look at the hand-hewn logs and the way the doors are made, everything's handmade from Tom's family.
He did the whole cabin himself, except for the plumbing maybe and the electrical. But other than that, he and his Tom's dad cut the logs and then helped to get them in, but
Grandpa did it.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is so amazing about back here is it's so quiet.
It is very quiet.
So peaceful and quiet. It's really nice.
The birds, and every once in a while you'll see an eagle fly over.
And you've got deer out there. There was a whole herd of deer the other day. And
They're having, the babies are all over the place.
They're loving these bean fields.
And the yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
I said last fall, I don't know how any corn got taken out of the field because the deer ate on them
Oh yeah.
all year.
Well, let's go back to the day that you won the lottery.
Okay.
Now, before that, you all just pooled money
Twice a week.
twice a
I
week.
think it was twice a week then.
You just give them $1, or how did you do that?
Everybody did $1, and the Friday, the day before we won, or I guess it was a Friday night that we won. I didn't have any money that day. It was payday, but I hadn't been to the bank, and I borrowed $1 from Loyal and said, I'll pay you back. So when he came to the house on Saturday morning, he said, you owe me $1. So I gave him the $1, and he said, now I got something to tell you. And I screamed.
Did you?
And yeah, he said, no, we got to keep this quiet. Don't scream that loud. But it was very exciting.
So why did he have you keep it quiet? Why was it?
Well, because you have to, the tickets are in his hands, and you got to get them somewhere safe, and then you have to let certain people know, and you got to figure out how you're gonna, are you gonna do it anonymously? Are you gonna turn them in and be out in the open with it? And there were a lot of decisions to be made before we ever turned the ticket in.
So did you meet as a group then?
We did. We actually met at the street department because that's where most of us worked. We met there, and we had a couple of lawyer friends, and they kind of advised us. And we all made the decision not to do it anonymously. If you did it anonymously, you had to have it in somebody else's name, and none of us were real comfortable with that. So we decided to just come out with it, and we kept the tickets in a safety deposit box at the bank. And then the day we turned it in...
Did y'all go down together?
Oh, we sure did. And it was kind of a carpool of sorts, but as I remember it, and my memory sometimes doesn't work well, but as I remember it, we looked into renting an armored truck to take it down. Because it was $207 million
in
that ticket, and it was going to cost us several thousand, $10,000 or $15,000 to rent this armored truck. And
well, couldn't you just put it in your bra?
Well, that's what we did. No, we didn't put it in my bra, but we did have the chief of police at the time. He went to the bank with Loyal and Rich Donnelly. They got it out of the safety deposit box, and we all kind of caravaned to, I guess it's Vandalia, where the lottery office was, and went in and turned it in.
Said, here we are.
Here we are.
Did you warn them in advance that you were coming?
That I don't remember.
Okay.
We might have, but I don't know.
Now, they probably gave you the money right away, right?
No.
So yeah, I was going to ask what's the process, but when you went in and
We had to turn the ticket in. We all had to sign papers. And then they had to decide, and I'll back up a minute. We had to decide, or they had to decide, I'm not quite sure, when to cash the ticket in. It must have been them deciding, meaning the lottery.
yes,
Because you want things to be just in a line with how the funds are coming. And do you want to do it? It was at the end of the year, so do you want to wait till after the first of the year? Do you want to wait, or do you want to do it now, before the end of the year? It was quite the decisions, and none of us had that much money that was anything we had to worry about before.
As far as taxes.
As far as taxes and
right.
what would be the best thing for that.
So you went from being an average worker at the city to someone who now had, well, they had to split that money out. So how much did you get?
Around $7 million.
Okay.
We each got. One of the winners got 2 parts because he put $2 in, but everybody else was at $1. I remember the weekend after the win and before we had the money, my furnace went out, and it was mid-December. It was not a good thing.
And you didn't have any money.
And no,
I mean, you didn't have any of them.
I called the lady. It was a lady I used to work with. Her husband did furnace and air work. And I said, listen, Jerry, I don't have the money right now, but I know I'm going to have it soon. And I couldn't tell her exactly what I meant, but she understood.
Oh, okay.
And they got me a furnace, and they got me a furnace fast.
That's good.
So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just nice who you know.
It is.
Because, you know, the average person probably would have said, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
We don't know you, we're not going to do it. But
Exactly.
knowing someone makes a difference.
Yeah.
Always.
So then it comes along, and I think there was a little bit of a problem.
There was.
So you want to talk about the problem?
Sure.
Okay.
We had 4 coworkers that didn't participate in the lottery pool at work, and they decided they'd just sue us. And they made a ruckus, and we had to go through a lot of things legally, but in the end, it was decided the only person that made any money out of the lawsuit was the lawyer.
Lawyers, yeah.
Yeah, the lawyer.
It's always the case.
Exactly. And the deposition was quite fun. Fun. The night we won, which we didn't know we had won on that Friday night, we had the office Christmas party. And we had it at the boss's house, and he was one of them that was suing us. And he had an animated snowman on the front porch, and it got broken.
Uh-oh.
And then one of the questions in the deposition, which had nothing to do with why we were there, was do you know who broke the snowman? And we all found out who broke the snowman, and it wasn't any of us, or we would have just bought him a new snowman, but it was quite funny.
That is fun.
Well, it's unfortunate to have such a windfall and an excitement and then have a problem.
It was.
That kind of takes away some of it.
It did, and I think we all did How the Lottery Changed My Life TV show. And in doing that, one of the other winners said, wouldn't you rather have a group of millionaires be your friends than alienate them with a lawsuit?
Right.
And and it would have benefited them to just say, well, you're right, we didn't put any money in, so.
So you kept working, didn't you?
We tried to keep working. We all went to work. They did not want us out on the street because of the safety of it all. The upper parts of the city management were very friendly about it. But the co-workers that were suing us, it made for a very strange work situation.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
So we all worked, and I can't even tell you how long we worked. Whether it was a couple of days or a week maybe, but then we all retired. We told them if they needed help plowing snow, we'd all be willing to do that and help out because we didn't want to leave them in a lurch.
Right.
One of the other workers, he did work for several more years. He had a daughter in high school still and said, I'm going to keep working. And he did.
Well, I think there's, it's nice to do that. But I heard you speak another time, and someone asked you, what was the best thing about winning the lottery? And I was impressed from that moment forward with what you said, because you said, I'm going to repeat it so that you remember exactly what you said. Because I remember this distinctly. You said, it gives me the opportunity to quit my job and spend time with my family.
And how much that is so true. And still, when I think of everything that has happened in the last 15 years, spending time with my kids in the beginning, and then grandkids, and my mom, and stepdad at the time was having health issues, and I got to be with mom a lot more than I would have if I was working full time.
That makes a difference.
It made a huge difference.
Yep.
So you turned the win into a positive for your house, for your whole family.
Absolutely.
Now, so you get this big amount of money, and I taught accounting. So one of the things that impresses me I always said if I won the lottery, I'd go away for 3 months. I'd go on some sort of a trip, be away from here. What happened when people found out you won?
It wasn't terrible. If your life is a shamble and terrible to begin with, money doesn't change it. It makes it different because you don't have to worry about paying bills and taking care of things. But you have to worry about, oh my gosh, what do I do with this money? And the lawyers that were friends of ours got a group of investment people, bankers, lawyers, and all kinds of friendly local people to help advise us. We could choose who we wanted to talk to and who we weren't comfortable talking to, and that was a huge help. But it was interesting to find out all the friends that you actually didn't know you had. They did come quite a bit out of the woodwork. We received several letters from people with account numbers and credit card numbers and all kinds of things. Could you help me pay this off? And it was rough in having to say, I can't do that. Or, people think that that's enough money to last the rest of your life. Well, it is.
If you
If
handle
you're
it
smart
correctly.
enough.
That's right. That's right.
But can you spend it all?
No.
You sure could if you weren't careful.
Right.
So people did come out of the woodwork, but disappearing for 3 months wouldn't have worked.
Wouldn't have helped.
No.
Well, darn. Now, see,
You
if
come
I
back
win the
and-
lottery,
That's
I'll come to
Saturday.
you first.
I would be glad to steer you in the direction. Yep.
So
You just
that's
shattered his
interesting, because I
illusion.
thought if you're gone, they can't contact you, and then maybe they'll forget after.
No, they didn't forget after 3 months. You'd had to go for 3 or 4 years.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That long?
And it was funny because you were somewhat of a local celebrity for a while.
Yeah.
And some of that is just because it's a small town. And some of it is because, you bought the Ferrari and you drove it around. And a Ferrari in Piqua just,
Doesn't quite.
there are a few of them.
But
I saw the Bentley. I like a
yeah,
Bentley.
there was a Bentley.
One of the.
Yeah.
Now these weren't all your cars.
Oh, no. The Ferrari, we had a Ferrari for a while. My favorite one was a Roush Mustang. I missed that one. But you can only have so many things, and you learn that things are just things.
That's right.
And downsizing to 832 square feet, it has, and getting older, you think differently about things.
Absolutely.
So, without naming people, you know all the winners, of course, pretty well.
I do.
Are they all okay financially still, or did some of them get a little on the wild side and end up not having? Because I always hear these horror stories about
Yeah,
how
you do.
people
Yeah.
end up with nothing.
One of the things that we were told is within 10 years, there will be at least 2 of you that will be broke. Well, it's 15 years later, and not to my knowledge, and I'm only on my bank account. I don't know anybody else's banking situations, but I think everybody's fine.
Good.
I was at a funeral this morning for one of the other lottery winners. And that was the second one that has passed on out of all of us. But I think everybody that's alive and well is doing just fine.
I think the fact that you were steered straight when you won by getting, financial advisors and that type of thing, that helps immensely.
And not that being from a small town is perfect in any way, because it isn't. But I think we were all decently good people to begin with and had good heads on our shoulders, and then were steered in the right direction.
Well, you were down home basic hard workers. All
Exactly.
of you.
Yeah.
Right.
So you just had that mantra about you already. So,
I believe that's true.
so now the serious question.
Oh no.
Okay, we're 15 years later. So do you still have a major portion of it? Or I've always wondered, can you live on the interest? That's one of my favorite questions.
You can. I've spent my fair share of it. We've traveled. We've had cars. We've had a large house. We've had fun with it. But you can stick the majority of it away, live on the interest, maybe spend a little bit here and there that's not interest, and you can be fine.
That's good to know that. I've always wondered about that because you hear on TV all the time they're talking about people who won the lottery and they went out and bought a $4 million house and they won $5 million. Well, it takes probably $500,000 to keep it up.
Exactly, and that's the thing I'm saying. We were advised well.
Well, that's really
And that's good. That is
Yeah.
really good.
So, what would you say to people listening now? Anything? Give them some advice. Go buy a lottery ticket.
Go buy a lottery ticket. You can't win if you don't
If
play.
you don't play.
Do you
that's
still
true.
buy?
Oh, sure. Tom buys more than I do, but especially when it gets high, jackpots, I'll go buy. Or if we're visiting family or friends in another state, it's kind of fun because
play
it's
there.
always the out-of-town person that
wins. Yeah, that's what they say.
Yep. But
So in your personal life, when you won, you had a boyfriend,
I did.
and so what was his response? He has a girlfriend who just won almost $7 million. What happened?
My daughter said it best. Hope he's not watching. He was a good boyfriend when we were broke, But when we won, he was one of those that would have spent every penny
Really?
and not invested a darn thing.
Wow.
So it's good that he went on down the road.
Yeah.
Choices are choices.
And you made them.
And I made them. And some of them weren't easy. But
Well, then you found Tom, and Tom, I've heard people say, well, he married her because she's got all that money, and yet I don't know anybody works harder than he does.
I agree. He's the hardest working person I know.
Yep.
And you're right. He and I don't know if it's as much anymore, but in the beginning, it hurt my feelings to hear people say that, because I thought, oh, is the only thing good about me my money? And it took a little time to get past that, but he got past it on his side and I got past it on mine. And he isn't here for, if he was here for the money, there'd have to be a whole lot more money for him to deal with the things he's had to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're good, and I know that, and he knows that.
Well,
His parents and my kids all know that, and that is all
what's
that
important.
matters.
That's the
That's right.
important.
That's the
Absolutely.
important
Well, I can
thing,
tell you
yeah.
that you got some friends that know that too.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
You
You're
do.
right.
You do.
Yeah.
It's it's just really. People like us could be all envious, but there's no envy whatsoever.
No.
I think if anybody deserved it, it was you. In that you worked hard
I did.
and you just gave your dollar, and all of a sudden you were able to collect a significant amount of money. Now, do you have control over the rain? Because it's coming.
It's coming.
Does money
I can
help?
hear the thunder. Money does nothing for that.
No, it doesn't.
I hear it on the window, the metal roof.
Yep.
But it's really good to talk to you, and I think my position is it's so interesting to see that you went from that huge home down to this, and I think I see that you're more comfortable and happier here than you are in the big house.
Very true.
Absolutely.
There's a lot,
That's right.
excuse me, there's a lot to take care of in a big house. There's a lot inside to take care of, outside to take care of. And here it's just home. And there are things to take care of, but not near as much. So that's good.
Well,
is good.
I want to thank you for the time today.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's important for people to hear, and right from the horse's mouth, what happened, because you hear all these rumors all the time.
And positive, something very positive
Yeah.
too.
Very
because you hear, like Don said earlier, you hear a lot of negative stories about people who've won the lottery and all that. But the fact that there was a group that won here in Piqua, and most of them are doing just fine. And I think that's good.
If you were stupid before you won the lottery, you're still stupid afterwards.
Right.
You just have a lot of money.
Exactly.
Yeah, for a while.
For a while, yeah. If you're stupid, it's only for a
Speaking
while.
of that, did they give you one check? Did you just get a check for that amount of money?
Actually, no. We each got a check for our portion. And if I remember correctly, we got 2 checks. And they came. How did they come? In the U.S. mail.
Seriously?
Or we could go down to the office and pick them up.
Now, was that taxes already paid?
Most of the taxes were paid.
Okay.
They took money out, but as I remember, it throws you into a little bit different
Tax bracket.
I think it might.
Yeah.
Yes, it might.
So we all had to pay a little more taxes
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But it was all right there,
And you had the money to pay them.
exactly.
And by the time you got it, you already knew what you were going to do with it, probably.
Exactly.
So it just
was
went right from
going-
your hands right to where it was going.
The
Yep.
the check went to wherever we
Yep.
were investing it
Cool.
in.
Yeah.
So
So it all worked out.
It did.
Well, I think congratulations are in order for you to be able to, 15 years later,
Yes.
smile, talk about it, and still be fine.
I'm
Yeah.
absolutely fine, and
no regrets.
no
That's
regrets.
good. That is good.
Yeah.
I think there are some regrets. It's those people who didn't put the money in that day.
Well,
no,
that's
not
their
on their on
It's,
their end.
yeah, their end.
on
It's
their
their
end.
regrets.
Not on
yeah.
my end.
You did your job.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for taking the time.
Yes,
I've
we
enjoyed
appreciate
it. It's extra warm out here, but I didn't notice the heat
didn't
because the
either.
conversation was that good.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, thank you for
was.
being with us.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, that was a really interesting, I mean, it really was, to find out about what it's like to win the lottery. Have you ever won any of the lottery?
Well, I won $2 once, and I put it back in and lost that.
That's
So I
with
was
me.
pretty well
yeah.
done.
Yeah, that's with me. I've won about like $10, and that was it.
But you can't win if you don't play. So I
Well,
probably,
and that's my problem. I don't play.
But as we were concluding that interview, it was interesting because the wind started to blow and the rain started, gentle rain
Yes.
started, and it was sitting on that porch. I could have stayed the rest of the
Oh,
day.
it was so pleasant
it
because
was
it was a
really
hot day, and when that storm came up, the breeze started blowing, and it cooled down. I bet 15 degrees or
15
more.
or 20. It was really
so
so
nice.
pleasant.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because sitting on that porch, we looked like we were part of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Because, Tom and Cindy's home now is the log cabin that had belonged to her.
To
or
Tom's
to his grandfather,
grandfather.
and his grandfather built it, and
Yeah.
they moved from a big house into this log cabin, and
Really cool.
seemed to be really happy with there.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing. Do you have some events we could talk about?
Yes, I do. I'll try to get through them quickly here. So these are events. This first one is August 15th, which is near and dear to my heart. Friends of the Piqua Library present Sounds of America, and this will be bluegrass. We've done the jazz, and we've done show tunes, we've done gospel, so this is going to be bluegrass, and the Possum Creek Ramblers will be there to play 7 p.m. And I understand
This Friday night, according to
no,
our
15.
According
to our program, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I keep forgetting.
I know.
But no, it'll be this Friday night, and I don't know if there'll be any tickets left to get. They're free. I know the last time we checked, there was like 95 or 96 tickets gone.
Well, there's 2 more gone now because I got them this morning.
Okay, well, there you go. So anyway, but even if you can't get a ticket, I know I probably shouldn't say this, but you come anyway. We'll see what we can do. But then, of course, so that's important, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Possum Creek Ramblers, just the name's fun to hear. So.
And you found them.
And I found them.
So it's
yeah,
your
I did.
fault if they're crappy.
That's right. No, they won't be.
I'm sure they won't.
I've heard them. So, but anyway, then also farmers markets in the area. I'm going to kind of do this in a hurry because we always have these. But farmers markets, August 15th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the Newton Local Market in Pleasant Hill. And there again, most of these places have, local produce and all that, and it's a really good. And then August 14th, the 21st, and the 28th, the Piqua Farmers Market is on the square, and that's Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. And then August 16th, 23rd, and 30th is the Cherry Street Farmers Market in Troy, and that's on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. And it's getting late in the season, so I think there's only another month that some of these farmers markets are going to be around. So, and the produce has been really good this year. So you need to try to get out there and support them because they work hard.
I'm going to go to the farmer's market this week because I want to buy about 10 pounds of green beans and
there you go.
Canned green beans, because I really like to bring fresh canned green beans out in the wintertime. And
Oh, that's true.
the farmer's market's the best place to buy them. You get a good price,
Absolutely.
and they're always good.
And then, of course, we have the Lock 9 concert series, which August 15th, 7 to 9 p.m. The group is called 5 Band. I have no idea what kind of music they play, but it should be a lot of fun. And then August 22nd, 7 to 9 p.m. is Reflection, REFLEKTION. Reflection is the band. And then on August 23rd, 7 to 9 p.m. is Pink Droid. Do you know Pink Floyd?
I know Pink Floyd.
Okay, well, I think that's a play on their name and probably some of Pink Floyd's music. So
Probably.
anyway, but that's going on. And then August 16th and 17th, Johnson Farm and Indian Agency presents Curiosities and Oddities, and that's unmasking the bizarre side of the 19th century. And I was going to go to the sheet here because what it is it's the illusion, how they gave you the illusion of cleanliness and order in the 19th century dress and hygiene, and how really it wasn't a lot of hygiene or,
I was going to say, how does your nose
cleanliness.
handle all that?
Yeah, so anyway, but that's at Johnson Farm. You can go to the website. It'll be on at the end of the show to get the facts and all that. And I think all it is the admission to Johnson Farm. So that ought to be a lot of fun to go see how they really lived. And then August 16th, it's the Civil War Concert and History Day. And the only reason I put this one in, first off, I think it's important for us to remember the Civil War and all that. But the proceeds to this go to the Overfield Tavern Museum. So, and I mean, we did a program on Overfield Tavern, and of course the fire they had and all that. So I think it's important that we support different things that's going to help rebuild the tavern.
Yes.
But it's in Troy. The City of Troy Human Relations Commission will take place at Soldiers Circle, Riverside Cemetery. It's just all throughout Troy, and that's August 16th. And for more information, I'm sure you can go to the events or homegrowngreat.com on the events to get more information, because there's a lot going on and we just don't really have the time for me to go through it all. And then on August 16th, 5 to 10 p.m., Rock the Hill in West Milton. And there again, this is an annual thing that they do. It's a free concert in West Milton, and a lot of fun. It's West Milton Park. It's 5 to 10 p.m. And it's free, so it should be a lot of fun. Beer, wine tent, food trucks, all kinds of good stuff for the kids. Bring your lawn chairs and blankets. So that'll be a fun time too. And then of course, it's time for the annual Tour de Donut.
Tour de Donut.
And the first thing is the Donut Jam, which is August 22nd and 22nd. And that's downtown Troy. And it's a music, drinks, and fun to celebrate Tour de Donut Bicycle Challenge. And then the Tour de Donut is August 23rd, and that's where you can ride your bike and eat all the donuts you want. Matter of fact, the more donuts you eat, the better your time will be. And so there again, for more details, the website will come up at the end of the show. But it should be a lot of fun, and you need to register for it. So it'll just be a good time. It really will. And just remember, we can't go through all the events that are happening in Miami County because it would take forever. But
Because so much is happening, and that's what's
much is,
that's
which is
what's
a good
really
thing.
amazing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So you can go to Miami County for hometowngreat.com/events, and there's a lot more events that we just can't cover everything. So I just tried to hit some of the highlights and all. So there you go. That's the events.
Well, we're getting near the end of our time, and I have found this little story when I was in the process of helping my friend Bob move from his home
Okay.
to his new place.
How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good
Good,
there.
good.
And things seem to be going along, and it's a little more settled and calm now because he's got all the rest of it taken care of. But anyway, we were going through papers, and Bob had this one paper, and he said, "Oh, you might be able to use this on the program." And I read it, and so here we go. I'm going to read this special thing. He got it as an email back in 2008, so it's not a brand new thing.
Right.
But I thought it might be interesting to our listeners to hear.
Okay.
On the first day, God created the dog, and he said, "Sit all day by the door of your house and bark at anyone who comes in or walks past. For this I will give you a lifespan of 20 years. The dog said, "That's a long time to be barking. How about only 10 years and I give you 10 others back?" So God agreed, you know. And then on the second day, God created the monkey. And he said, "Entertain people, do tricks, and make them laugh. For this I will give you 20-year lifespan." The monkey said, "Monkey tricks for 20 years, that's a pretty long time to perform. How about I give you 10 like the dog did, 10 back like the dog did?" God agreed. On the third day, God created the cow. And he said, "You must go into the field with the farmer all day long and suffer under the sun, have calves, and give milk to support the farmer's family. For this I will give you a lifespan of 60 years.
Wow.
The cow said, "That's kind of a tough life. You want me to live for 60 years. How about 20 and I give you 40 back?" And God agreed again. On the fourth day, God created man. And he said, "Eat, sleep, play, marry, and enjoy your life. For this I will give you 20 years. But man said, "Only 20 years? Could you possibly give me my 20 years, the 40 years that the cow had given back, the 10 years that the monkey gave back, and the 10 years that the dog gave back? That makes 80 years total, okay?" "Okay," said God, "you asked for it." So that is why for our first 20 years we eat, we sleep, we play, and enjoy ourselves. For the next 40 years we slave in the sun to support our families. For the next 10 years we do monkey tricks to entertain the grandchildren. And for the last 10 years we sit on the porch and bark at anybody who walks by. So I thought that was kind of an interesting perspective on life.
It's a
and pretty
cute-
much right.
Cute story, yeah. I mean, as far
So-
as the breakdown of the years.
Life's now been explained to all of you, and there's no need for us to think of valuable information. I'm doing it as a public service. So you now have a public service message, and you know exactly why we live the way we do.
And what we do, the way we do it. Yep.
Yep.
Well,
So
I think it's about time we get going.
I agree. I'm Don Smith.
And I'm Bill Cartwright.
And that's what's happening.
happening.